The border colony of Varen's Reach was a wasteland, half desert, half scrapyard, orbiting a dying sun. For most of the galaxy, it was a forgotten outpost. For Elias Crane, ex-soldier and mechanic, it was exile. He lived alone in a salvage shack surrounded by the remains of crashed ships, engines humming like ghosts. Every sunrise brought dust storms and silence. Every sunset brought memories he didn't want. Until the day he heard the cry. It was faint, buried under the wind, a high-pitched, frightened whimper. He followed it through the rusted wrecks until he found it. A small, furred creature, trembling beside a shattered escape pod. The cub was thin, half-starved, its striped hide glowing faintly under the twin suns. Eyes too large, too intelligent. Hey, easy there, Elias said softly, kneeling. Not gonna hurt you. It hissed weakly, more fear than fury. He tossed a ration bar onto the sand. The cub sniffed it, then devoured it in seconds, licking the crumbs from its claws. Elias chuckled. Guess that settles it. You're hungry. He gave it water, then another bar. It followed him back to his camp, tail flicking nervously. By nightfall, it was curled beside the fire, purring softly while he tinkered with an old plasma coil. For the first time in months, Elias didn't feel alone. At dawn, the cub was gone. The footprints vanished into the dunes. Figures, Elias muttered, sipping stale coffee. Save something, and it runs away. Story of my life. But just as he turned back to his workshop, the ground trembled. Sand shifted. A shadow fell across the camp. Massive, graceful, and terrifying. Out of the heat, haze emerged a tall, feline figure, her silver-striped skin glinting in the light. Her eyes, golden, slitted, and sharp, locked on him. In one hand, she carried a plasma spear. In the other, the cub, safe, perched on her arm. Elias froze. Oh, hell! The cub chirped happily, squirming toward him. The mother's voice was a low purr, accented but fluent. You fed my child. Elias swallowed hard. Didn't plan on a reward. Just didn't want to see it die. Her gaze softened just barely. Among my kind, such acts are remembered. She stepped closer, the heat between them almost physical. You are human. Warrior caste from your scars. He gave a dry laugh. Used to be. The cub leapt from her arms and ran to him, curling around his boots. She watched, tail flicking. He trusts you, she murmured. That is rare. Over the next few days, she returned, first to bring meat as thanks, then out of curiosity. Her name was Seductive, huntress of the Terran Pride, a nomadic alien species that roamed the desert worlds. She spoke of her people's code, of survival and loss. Elias spoke of Earth, oceans, rain, and how peace felt like a luxury. The cub, Tern, adored him. It played with his tools, slept in his coat, and sometimes dragged half-buried bones into his camp like trophies. Seductive found it amusing. He sees you as kin, she said once. Elias smirked. Guess that makes you my angry neighbor. Her golden eyes gleamed. Something like that. But Varen's Reach was not empty. Raiders prowled the dunes, scavengers who would kill for fuel or food. When they found Elias's camp, they saw the alien woman as prey. They came at dusk. 3 hover bikes, engines whining. Elias spotted them too late. The first plasma bolt scorched his wall. He grabbed his old rifle, shouting, Seductive, get back. But the huntress was already moving, a blur of claws and fury. Her spear cut through armor like paper. Sand turned red under the setting sun. Elias fired beside her, back to back, human and alien fighting as one. The cub hid behind the wreckage, growling softly. When the last raider fell, Seductive turned, bleeding from her shoulder, breathing hard. Elias dropped his weapon and rushed to her side. Hold still, he said, pressing a med patch to her wound. She winced, then caught his wrist. You risk yourself for me? He met her gaze. You risked yourself first. For a long, quiet moment, the wind carried only the sound of their breathing. That night, she stayed. Not as a visitor, but as something more. The cub slept curled between them, tail flicking in dreams. Sedutive's voice was barely a whisper. Your kind are strange, Elias Crane. You fight with fire and heart. You protect what is not yours. He smiled faintly. Maybe that's why we survive. Her claws traced the edge of his dog tags. You fed my child without fear. You fought beside me without question. In my people's law, such bonds are sacred. She leaned close, her forehead brushing his. From this night, you are part of my pride. He didn't argue, didn't speak. He only held her hand, feeling the warmth of a creature born for war, yet capable of tenderness. Outside, 2 moons rose over the desert, pale lights spilling across the ruins, touching the human and the alien mother who refused to leave his side. In the morning, the cub woke first and found them still there, the warrior and the huntress, breathing in perfect rhythm. And for the first time, the dunes of Varen's Reach felt like home.